It's the question on everyone's mind right now, whether you're in the boardroom or the break room. So let's cut through the noise. What does the data actually say? I mean, you hear it constantly, right? Will AI take my job? Is my career going to be obsolete? Or on the flip side, is it going to turn me into some kind of productivity superhero? Look, there's a ton of speculation, so much hype, and honestly, a whole lot of fear. But today, we're going to put all those predictions on the shelf and look at what's really happening. We're diving into a massive study from Microsoft Research, and when I say massive, I mean it. They analyzed 200,000 real-world, totally anonymous conversations that people had with an AI. This is like getting a backstage pass to see how we're actually using these new tools at work. Okay, so to make sense of all this data, the researchers first had to solve a pretty basic problem. A conversation with an AI isn't a one-way street. It has two sides. It's not just about what we tell the AI to do, it's about what we're ultimately trying to get done. So they came up with this really smart distinction. On one hand, you have the user goal. That's the big picture, what you, the person, are trying to accomplish. And on the other hand, you have the AI action. That's the specific task the AI is doing to help you out. And believe me, they are not always the same thing. And this example makes it super clear. Let's say your user goal, is to operate some new piece of office equipment. But in the process of helping you, the AI's action is actually to train you on how to use it. See that split? Your goal is about using a machine, but the AI's action is about teaching. This simple idea, this little difference, is the key that unlocks everything else in the data. All right, so once they had that framework in place, the researchers could finally start to see the patterns. And when they dug in, some really fascinating things started to emerge about what we truly want from our AI assistants. And the very first pattern is a big one. Seriously, look at this. On the left, that's the slice of the US workforce whose job involves getting information. Now look at the bar on the right. That's how often getting information pops up as a goal in these AI chats. The difference is huge. It's clear as day we are overwhelmingly using these tools for knowledge work. So what does that knowledge work actually look like? Well, the top goals fall into three buckets you'll probably recognize. We're asking for help finding stuff out, gathering info. We're asking for help creating and refining documents. And we're asking for help communicating with other people. It's basically the core of any modern office job, right? So what's the AI's role in all this? What's its most common AI action? Well, it consistently plays a service role. It's not taking over for the user, it's assisting them. It's like a coach helping you practice for a presentation, or a teacher explaining a tricky concept, or an advisor giving you the background you need to make a good decision. Okay, so that's what people are doing with AI on a task-by-task basis. But how do you take that and figure out the impact on an entire job, for an accountant or a roofer? Well, that's the next big leap. To do that, the researchers created a special metric they call the AI applicability score. And this isn't some wild guess. It's a real calculated score that measures how much potential AI has to impact any given job, and it's all based on that real usage data. A higher score just means there's a bigger overlap between what a job requires and what people are already successfully using AI for. And they figured this out in 4 main steps. First, they pulled out all the common activities from those thousands of AI conversations. Second, they used a big government database to see which jobs do those activities. Third, and this is key, they rated how successful the AI was at each activity. And finally, they crunched all that together to create a single score for over 800 different jobs. It's this amazing journey from a single chat prompt all the way to a final job impact score. Which, of course, brings us to the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal. Which jobs have the highest scores and which ones have the lowest? Let's just say the results could not be clearer. As the researchers themselves put it, the impact is very uneven. This is not some wave that's hitting every job in the same way. Not at all. For some careers, there's a massive overlap with what AI can do, while for others, well, it's pretty much zero. So let's look at the jobs with the highest scores. Right at the top, you've got interpreters and translators. That makes total sense, given how good AI is with language. But then you see historians, whose work is all about deep research and analysis, and then customer service and sales reps, who spend their entire day communicating and providing information. You see the theme? It's all about language, info, and communication. Now, Let's look at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, the jobs with scores near zero. We're talking about roofers, nursing assistants, dishwashers. The pattern here is just as obvious. These are all jobs that require you to interact with the physical world, doing manual labor, providing hands-on care, or operating real-world machines. So the main takeaway, the dividing line here, isn't random at all. It's crystal clear. AI, at least in its current form as a language model, is a perfect fit for jobs that revolve around information, ideas, and talking to people. It's least applicable to jobs that involve physical labor and getting your hands dirty in the real world. But let's zoom out for a second, because that really clear pattern opens up a much bigger and maybe more complicated question about the economy and all of our careers. I mean, think about it. Knowledge work usually means more education and higher paychecks. So if those are the jobs that are most affected by AI, does that mean they're the ones most at risk of being automated away? It kind of seems logical, right? But the data tells a completely different story. This number right here might be the most shocking thing in the entire study. It's the correlation between a job's average salary and its AI applicability score. Now, a score of 1 would mean they're perfectly linked. A score of 0 means there's no link at all. The actual number? 0.07. That is an incredibly weak relationship. Basically, there's almost no connection between how much money you make and how much AI is likely to affect the tasks you do at work. So what this all points to is that this isn't about job replacement, it's about job reconfiguration. Just think about the ATM. It automated the main task of a bank teller, right? Handing out cash. Everyone predicted bank tellers would disappear, but the exact opposite happened. The number of tellers actually went up because the ATMs made it cheaper to open more bank branches, and the tellers' jobs just got reconfigured to focus on more valuable things like sales and building customer relationships. Which brings this whole conversation right back to you and your job. The data is pretty clear. For most of us, AI isn't going to be some giant tidal wave that washes our jobs away. It's much more likely to be a powerful current that changes the shape of the work we do day in and day out. And that leaves us with the real question we should all be asking ourselves. It's not, will a robot come and take my chair? The better question is, how will this incredible new tool remake my job? How will it change the tasks that matter most? And ultimately, where can I, as a human, provide the most value?